Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Modeling Guy. As you know, in this channel, we will tackle some complex questions in the field of computational modeling and try to address them from a practical perspective. For today's video, we will talk about Maxwell equations and how to model them using finite element modeling. So the first question, what are Maxwell equations? They are a set of coupled partial differential equations that form the foundation for classical electromagnetism, classical optics, and modeling of electric and magnetic circuits. They are formulated by James Clerk Maxwell in 1860s and are rewritten by Oliver Heaviside. They are essential for understanding electric circuits and modeling electromagnetic waves. So going into the details, what are these different equations? The first set of equations basically are the Gauss's law for electricity, which is basically an equation for the total electric flux through a closed surface is proportional to the total charge enclosed by that surface. This means that the electric field lines originate from positive charges and terminate at negative charges. The second component of the Maxwell equation is the Gauss's law for magnetism. It basically states that there are no magnetic monopoles, that is, magnetic field lines always form closed loops. Magnetic field lines do not begin or end at any point but circulate continuously. The third component of the Maxwell equations is the Faraday's law of induction. This basically it states that a changing magnetic field induces a circulating electric field. This principle is the basis for electrical generators and the transformers being used. Then the fourth law is the Ampere's law with Maxwell's correction. It basically states that a current or a changing electric field generates a circulating magnetic field. This correction allows for the existence of electromagnetic waves. So let's look into the Maxwell equations that would be going into the finite element implementation. So this is the wave equation form. So by combining the four different equations that are shown in the previous frame, the Gauss's law for electricity, magnetism, Ampere's law, and Faraday's laws of induction, we can derive the wave equation for electric and magnetic fields. So the equations E basically stands for electric field and B represents the magnetic field. And by combining all these equations, you can see that the top two equations basically are in the form of a wave equation and propagating at the speed of light. So the next step is to solve the Maxwell equations using the finite element modeling. Again, so as you know, finite element modeling or approach follows a weak formulation approach where the equation, the original equation, is rewritten into an integral form. So as you can see here, we are doing that by multiplying the original equation with a test function v and integrating it over the domain omega. One of the reasons for doing that is to also basically reduce the requirement on the derivative of the solution. For example, if you look at the original equation, the solution E will require a smooth solution in a second order space. To reduce the requirement on that derivative and reduce it to a smooth solution first order space, we multiply it by a test function and use the integration by parts and other boundary conditions to reduce it to a simpler solution. If the only requirement is a first order derivative being smooth, we can use polynomial functions as our initial basis functions and move towards a solution. So by multiplying with the v, which is the test function again, we are basically using the integration by parts and enforcing the Dirichlet boundary conditions. We end up with this equation here where you have the spatial derivative on the left and the second order time derivative on the right. Now the next step is to discretize using finite elements. So to start with, we approximate the electric field E using the different basis functions, phi of I, as you can see here. And then, here E is basically the time dependent unknown that is of interest. And phi of x are basically the finite element basis functions. It could be linear or quadratic functions, and choosing one of them will affect your computational cost of the simulation. And similarly, we approximate the test functions by another set of basis functions, and substituting them into the weak form gives you an equation that looks something like this, where you have nabla phi j and nabla of the approximate electric field on the left hand side in the brackets. On the right hand side, we do the same thing, replacing v and e with these solutions. And next, using the linearity of the integration, we basically convert that into a matrix form that looks something like this, where you have k and e on the left hand side, and m dou square e by dou t square, or the partial derivative e by partial t of the second order. And here k is basically your integration of the basis functions that looks something like this. M is your equivalent mass function on the right hand side, and E is basically your solution at different nodes of the finite element mesh. And now the question is, how do we discretize on the right hand side, where you have the partial derivative of E of second order? And to solve that, we use a finite difference scheme like the Newmark beta or the central difference methods. These are potential solutions. I'm not giving you exactly how to solve this problem, but I'm giving I'm explaining different components and the different approaches that you could take to solve these or to address these different components. So using the central difference time stepping scheme, we can write a numerical approximation of the left hand side LHS term with this term here, which is a function of the electric field at different time steps when solving the equation. So if you substitute that into the FEM equation, you end up with an equation that looks something like this, which can be converted into arrays and implemented into using a C++ code or Julia or Python, whatever is your preference. And we can rearrange for the electric field at different time step using the equation, and this equation is iteratively solved in time, updating E at each time step. So again, to briefly go over the implementation steps, your step 1 is to decide on the domain and discretize the domain into finite elements, whether it's triangular or tetrahedral elements. And then you have to choose the basis functions. We can choose, linear basis functions, linear Lagrange basis functions are a common choice. And then the third step is to compute the element matrices. So for Maxwell equations, discrete Galerkian finite element methods are preferred for wave equations, where for a continuous Galerkian, you are basically assuming that your basis functions are constant, are smooth at the different nodes of the finite element mesh. Whereas for the discrete Galerkian, you have independent basis functions for each element. So there could be some discontinuities at the different nodes of the finite element mesh. And so your stiffness matrix size will be different for the same element between a continuous Galerkian and discontinuous Galerkian approaches. And then you have to assemble the full matrix system for all the elements, and then you have to apply the boundary conditions depending on your problem statement. And then you go to the time integration, where you start with some initial conditions and iterate using the central difference formula. And the last step is to visualize the solution. Could be a VTK for field plots, paraview, or if you have something that's your cup of tea, then go for it. So with this, I'd like to conclude my presentation. And for more such content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you are interested in more such content, please comment in the comment section, and I'll try to make sure that your comments are addressed and your topics or the information on your interests are delivered to you. Thank you so much. Hope you got some useful information or learned something from this video. Thank you.